We are live. Okay, hair. We look a mess. That's okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wheesearch Live with me, Jay Iziah. So it hasn't been a minute. I went live last week with my friend Kayla, but I'm back by myself today, and we are going to be doing some contouring. So this is called Contour with Me, but I want to do a couple of things before that. So I ran out of my brow pencil, and I haven't used Dip Brow in like forever. I actually don't even remember how to use Dip Brow. So I'm gonna try to use Dip Brow to like get some sort of snatch on my brows first before we get into the contour part. But before we do that, I'm gonna go grab some moisturizer. Let me see if I have this product, because I used this Peter Thomas Roth primer yesterday, and I really, really liked it. And because it came from Peter Thomas Roth, I'm assuming Peter Thomas Roth, I'm assuming that it probably has some skincare in it. It felt so great on the skin. It like, I don't know, it might be my new favorite primer, to be honest. So, hi Hillary, how are you doing? Welcome to the broadcast. I'm gonna be doing some contouring, but first I'm gonna do my brows with some ABH Dip Brow, which I really haven't used in a long time. But I wanna prep my face first. So I want to, I'm gonna go grab some moisturizer really quick, guys. I have the Tarte Cosmetics Maracuja Oil by Tarte. And what else do I need? Oh, and then this primer by Peter Thomas Roth. So I'm really excited about this primer. I told you I used it yesterday and my base came out so flawless, so I might have to get a full size of it, but I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. Oh, and a mirror. That would help, right? Okay. All right, I got the things that I need. So I forgot I needed a mirror, some makeup wipes. This is my table mirror. If you guys don't have one of these, I promise you, like, it has changed my makeup game. I've always been like holding a palette doing my makeup, or using like this mirror, which I use a lot. It's regular on one side and then 5X on the other side. So applying lashes or getting like precise application is really great. But when you want your hands free and you want to just be able to look down into your mirror, this is the Bestow mirror, and it opens up like this. I need to clean it, don't judge me, guys. But it's a Bestow mirror like this. It swivels all sorts of ways. So like even if you wanted to like contour underneath your chin, you could just lift the mirror down like so, and it will show you right where you need to see. Or if you really want to get into your brow, just however you want to do it. It does have a light, so you click here and this whole thing illuminates. And then these are magnifying mirrors. This is a side mirror, and then you have your main mirror. So I really like this mirror, especially when I'm live streaming, because I can talk to you guys here and look down into my mirror and still do my makeup without having things in front of my face. So if you don't have one, it's by Bestow, Bestope. Yeah. All right, so now that my mirror's set up, let's go ahead and let's start priming or prepping the face. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about skincare and about prep and all that other stuff, and prep is super, super important to getting a really flawless base. So you wanna make sure that your face is hydrated. So I'm gonna go in with the L'Oreal Collagen Moisture Filler, which I'm almost out of, but I have another box sitting right over there. And we're just going to just get this on our face and start moisturizing. Oh, and then I also watched a tutorial by, what's his name? Sir John. which is Beyonce's makeup artist, if I'm correct. Don't quote me. But yeah, and he was saying that if you apply your foundation on top of, like, when the moisturizer is still wet, like it's not like dried down yet or like absorbed into your skin, it gives you a more skin-like appearance with your foundation. So that is one thing I'm gonna try later. I don't know, some other time, you know? Let me pull this a little bit closer. There we go. Oh, okay. All right, so my skin is like glowy just from that collagen moisture filler. So I really like that. And then while that is sitting in and getting ready, I'm gonna highlight the product I was talking about, the Peter Thomas Roth Primer. Where'd she go? I just had her. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I got this like in, I wanna say like an Allure beauty box, and it's a really travel size, and it's the Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For, no filter mattifying primer and complexion perfector. It says apply all over the face, focusing on pores, fine lines, and imperfections. So honey, we're gonna just apply it all over the face. But I really, oh my God, I really like this primer. So the first thing that I noticed about the primer, when you put it out the thing, it's very creamy. So it's like a creamy primer. It's very light to touch and it's fine. I find that some primers feel kind of like chalky or like silicone-y, but this one just like, kind of feels like a moisturizer, to be honest. Oh. And then I did a live stream on Facebook yesterday. I used this primer. That's how I first got into it. So it's not a first impression, but I did forget that it has a little bit of hint of peppermint in its smell, which I'm not mad at. I actually really like that. It's scents and makeup go, they can go either way for me. Like I can either love it or I can hate it. Like I love some lip glosses that have like that cake or cupcake or icing smell. But then some days, like, I'm not with it. Like, I don't want, does it sting? Your skin peppermint always makes my skin peppermint. No, it doesn't. It actually just smells like peppermint, but it feels like they got the right levels of it. Because I know peppermint is also good for tightening skin and reducing pores and whatnot. So I'm assuming that's why they put this formula in here. But it does not sting at all. It feels like a moisturizer. It doesn't have that, like, silicone or like pasty feeling like some primers do, and overall like it just leaves your skin like glowy and kind of matte a little bit. I guess those are competing words, matte and glowy. My skin's just glowy, that's why. But it is a mattifying primer, but I really like it. So I'm gonna let that dry down while we jump into these brows real quick. So I don't know how this is gonna go. I haven't used dip brow in forever, but shout out to Wheesearch for the brow pencil. I still have this brow pencil from Playlist, and I think it's time to bust into a new one. So this is a Duo Brow eyeliner pencil by ABH, courtesy of Wheesearch. Thank you so much. If you guys haven't checked out Wheesearch.com, I would implore that you do. I implore that you explore www.wheesearch.com to find all the makeup products and see how they look, wear, and feel before you buy them. But seriously, guys, like if you're looking for something, I would go to Wheesearch.com and just like play around on the site, give us some feedback. If you want to give us any advice, any comments, concerns, anything like that, email me, jay@wheesearch.com, JAYWEESEARCH, with your feedback and whatnot. Anybody who goes out and do that, maybe we'll give you a free consultation or a discount on a consultation with our new platform, WheeMeet. So there's a lot of things going on, but we'll get more into that later. I just really want to get these brows on. So if this is like therapy, this is like therapy for me right now. So what's been happening is I've been talking to my friend Kayla, and I did a live stream with her last week on Wheesearch's YouTube channel, so it's up. You guys can watch it. It's really long, but it was just a really good time of us just like sitting down doing makeup and just having fun. And she shaves off the tail of her brow. So like this part of her brow, like over, she shaves completely off. And I was like, hold on, why do you shave your brow off? Because then you have more control over your tail. Like, you can draw your tail however you want. Like, if I cut from here, I can make my brow go up, like that, come down. I can have them go straight out. Like, you just really can be like an artist with your brows. And I really like that. So, I'm a chicken though, and I couldn't just cut my brows off. Like I just couldn't actively just be like, you know what, zoop, we're gone. So if you notice, I've been slowly trimming them smaller and smaller just to get them to that direction, like to that shape kind of where I want. And like right now, I think this is a pretty good shape for me. With a brow pencil, I'm able to really get the shape I want, but we're gonna see how it works with dip brow. Yeah. All right, I'm jumping in with dip brow in the color Ebony. With dip brow, you don't usually need a brow gel anyway because it's a pomade, so it's gonna be very creamy. It's gonna have a lot of pigment. And then after you put it on your brows, it will dry down and set your brows in place. So dip brow has a lot of benefits. It kind of saves you some money. You don't have to go out and buy all these different products just to do your brows. But I started with dip brow, and then I moved on to pencils. I just feel like I don't get like the natural brow that I'm looking for with dip brow. Like, honey, she's blocky. Like, how do I, you know what? See, this is why I don't use dip brow anymore. We're gonna need a lot of concealer. When I first started doing makeup, if this was the outcome, I would have been like, oh no, life is over, I can't do anything. Oh no, what do we do? Now I'm just like, where's the concealer? Because honey, this is an easy fix. You just take your concealer. I'm using the NYX HD Studio concealer in the shade 8.6. And I'm just gonna pop this onto a brush. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on my dip brow skills, but. And I'm just gonna go under. Most popular products on Wheesearch, check out the Opinion. Yes, I mean, dip brow is definitely, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about dip brow. I really like it. If you don't have any brows at all, dip brow is like, it's definitely a go-to. It definitely will help you. I feel like because it sticks to the skin. No, I don't like this brow. You know what? We might just skip brows for today. It's just one of those days. I've just been having a very long couple of months, everybody. And it's just one of those things where it's like, you know what? We're gonna contour today. If I don't have a brow pencil, I don't have a brow pencil. It's whatever. The name of this broadcast is Contour With Me, Not Watch Me Fail at Dip Brow. That's so crazy though. Like, I thought that it would just be like very easy to switch back and forth between different products. Like, I use pencils most of the time. I even use pencils that have kind of like pomade in them, so pomade brow pencils, but I just really like the precise application of it. I feel like with dip brow, I might have to like do a different approach to get my brow the way I want it to. So, what I always do when I don't have a skill is off camera, I always sit down in front of a mirror and I just keep doing them over and over again, and that's what really gets me the brow shape. But today we're just gonna skip that. We're going straight on to contour, okay? All right, so I'm gonna drop a little bit of this Maracuja oil by Tarte Cosmetics on just to give me a little bit more hydration. Oh, this feels so good. I haven't sat down and just like prepped and treated my face. Ugh. So I guess I should go, I'm gonna go into, I don't think I've ever put in dip brow on Wheesearch.com, now to think of it, Hillary. I'm gonna go in and put it in, especially after switching to a pencil and then going back, because that changes my perception on easy to apply. I really think pencils are easier to apply. Oh, my skin feels so good. All right. Okay, so now that our base is there, we're very glowy, skin's very hydrated. Don't mind my face. Don't mind my face. I need to shave, but we're all good. It's rough out here. Here's the link. All right. Thanks for sharing the link, Hillary. Okay, so my skin is looking great over here. I don't know if y'all see what I see, but we're looking good. It's very glowy, very hydrated. So now let's put on some foundation. So I think I finally found a foundation. Oh my God, I got so excited just now. I finally found my foundation shade after like going through so many brands. But the funny thing about it is like winter is about to end, and I think that's why my shade changed, because like I'm walnut in this shade and it matches perfectly, but then summer is about to hit and I live in Arizona and the sun does not change for anybody here. So it's about to be a mission. I'm gonna have to find another shade. But as far as this shade, like it looks a little bit dark, but as it blends out, and I'm just using a beauty blender and I'm pouncing. I feel like my lighting could be a lot better. Give me 1 second. I just brought that light closer. Okay, there we go. And I just put it on the back of my hand and then I apply to the areas. I pounce in my foundation first. So just like using pouncing motions. This is technically why they call it beat your face. And then after I go like these like quick swiping motions to like really work it in. And then after I'm done this, I'm gonna go in with a brush and really buff all of my skin. See, now this is looking a little too dark, but maybe it's just on camera. There we go. There's the light, okay? I wanna hold you. Yeah, I think this foundation is like the closest. Like it is reading a little dark right now. I don't know why, but story of my life. I did buy another foundation by NYX not too long ago, and the first application of it matched me perfectly, and then I used it the next day, and it was like really dark, and I was wondering, did it oxidize? Did I accidentally leave it open? Like, I just really don't know what happened, but it was no longer my shade. But the beauty of getting a darker foundation is you can always lighten it up with your concealer and other things. I wanna hold you. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more pumps just to hit my stubble area where I have hair growing back in. Oh, you know what's super interesting too while I'm just doing my foundation? I watched the video by Nikki Tutorials. I didn't get a chance to finish it yesterday before I had to go to work, but she just did a video on unisex makeup, which I thought was like super interesting because makeup is already unisex. Like it doesn't have a gender, it doesn't have a thing. I think it's just the way you apply it. But Givenchy, the high-end fashion brand, came out with unisex line geared towards like men and women, but it seems like they're only focusing on the face. So like your face, base, like perfecting, concealers, like all of that stuff. That's what it seems like they're focusing on in their line. But I feel like that's just a way to make money. Like it's already unisex. But I also see some benefits of that by calling it unisex makeup and by advertising it with men using it and whatnot, which NYX and other brands have already started to do. It could open up makeup to everybody to make it more acceptable. So I kind of feel like two different ways about it. I feel like we shouldn't have to give makeup a gender, and that might just be because I'm a male and I do makeup, but it is what it is. Okay, now I'm just gonna go over and just make sure it's all buffed in. What are your guys' thoughts about unisex makeup? Do you think that like it needs to be advertised that way to make it more acceptable to everybody? Or do you think that it's like a way to make money? Do you see any benefits from it? Like, so by adding that primer and that oil, you get a very skin-like finish to your foundation. Like I'm looking at this in person in the light and it's very skin-like. Like it just looks like another layer of skin. It's velvety, has a nice finish. It is getting a little bit dark today, but we do. I've tried to match to my chest all the time, but I feel like my chest is just a little bit lighter or whatever. All right, and then we're gonna go in with a Brusero. Oh my gosh. Oh, here it is. I was like, I know I brought this. I'm gonna go in with a foundation brush and I'm just gonna buff this all into my skin. Just make sure everything is blended out, that we got all the areas, that it's nice and buffed in. All right. And we are good on the foundation. All right. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is wipe off this foundation on the back of my hand because that will get everywhere. I'm so clumsy when it comes to that. Okay, so now we are going to contour. So I've done a couple of different techniques and whatnot just from watching YouTube videos and looking at other people contour. The difficult thing with my contour shades is that I have to find shades that are deep enough that are going to actually show up on my skin. So what I've had to do is now I have to buy, it blows my mind though. It really does blow my mind because I have to spend so much more money than another person just because they don't make contour shades deep enough, or I have to buy like another foundation that's in a deeper shade because there's no contour. Like even the contour palette, I brought one today just to show you. This is the Aesthetica Contour Series Cream contouring palette, and this is supposed to be for deeper skin tones. Now, this is the deepest shade on here, which is what I need to create my shadows and whatnot, but I feel like this shade is lighter or the same complexion as me. And then all these other shades, like yes, we could probably use like one of these as like this is like too peachy for me, and then this one's like a little bit too light to use as a concealer. I probably could use this on a concealer, but this is a contour palette and it just doesn't work for me too much. I can use a little bit sometimes somewhere, but for the most part, I stay away from it just because I haven't had success. So what I do instead now is I had to go out and I had to buy powdered foundation from Bare Minerals. So this is the Performance Wear powder foundation in the color Cocoa 30, which I obviously, like I've hit pan now, but like this is powdered foundation and it's dark. or deep. And then I also had to go out and buy the L'Oreal Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick, which is another foundation, and this one is in the shade Espresso, so 412 in Espresso, and this one is deep as well. So with these two products together, I can really define my shade and then soften it and like set it with the powder. And then to highlight, like to do like a deeper shade, I had to buy another foundation, so the powdered foundation, and this one is the Beyond Perfecting Powdered Foundation and Concealer by Clinique, and this one's just a lighter shade that I use to kind of cut below. Or if I'm doing like an Instagram photo or whatnot, then I'll just use Coty Airspun, but it's very light, so it leaves like a light shadow in the back, but for Instagram photos it's fine because I want that recession, but in real life, you're gonna wanna go with something a little bit more natural. Okay. So all I do is I start off with the L'Oreal Infallible Shaping Longwear Stick, and I just map out my contour. So the way I do that is the highs of my cheekbones, I start by my ear, because that's just where I found that like I can find that bone the best. So if you start at the tip of your ear and you move it down, you'll feel this little divot of where your cheekbone starts. So right there is where I want to start my contour, and I'm gonna pull it along into right on the outside of your eye. So if you look straight forward, the outside of your iris or your eye is right there. That's where I like to stop my contour line. But I'm gonna blend it in further, but that's where I just like to stop all that. So that's there. So now on the other side, I do the same thing. I find where my contour line starts, and then I go here, and I'm gonna pull it into my eye like so. So now you guys see that contour, you see that line. Then for my nose, I usually go in with a little brush. And we're gonna blend these all out. So I go in with like a flat angled brush. You can use this for eyeliner or for brows or whatever. And I just put that on some product on that brush. And then I really buff out my nose. So when you're doing your nose contour, you want it to go into your eyebrows. Like that's where the shadow follows. So I usually start right in, creating those two lines. And then I just draw a little line down like this, a little line down like that. Okay, so the nose contour is in there like that. Okay. So then what I'm gonna do after this is we need to start blending things out. So I use this like contour brush, it like hugs the cheek or whatever, and this is what I used to do. And then you want to blend upwards, because if you blend upwards, it's gonna give you more of that snatch. If you blend downwards, it's gonna look like your cheeks droop. So starting in the back, I just start blending the shade upward. And it's okay if you get it lower, because we are gonna go back in with some powder and really cut this as our highlight shade underneath. And then all I do is I pull it in further just to get that shadow, but I concentrate all of that color into the back, blending it up. Sorry, I didn't realize my mirror was in the way. And then I just take whatever excess I have and I just push this into the back, like to kind of create that shape. So already, I mean, I can see like it's very harsh. You can still see all of that, but we're gonna blend it out more or veil. But I already can see that this cheekbone is a little bit higher than this one, but okay, and then we'll go over to the other side. I'm gonna make this party lit. Great. And then for my nose, I'm just going to And also what made me better at contouring, like I'm not the best at contouring, I'm still learning. But I mean, I definitely can contour for my looks and stuff. It was like not being afraid to apply contour, like not being afraid. Like I thought like, oh, if I applied too much, it's gonna be too dark, it's gonna be impossible to blend out. But you have to remember, you always have concealer, you have powder, you have foundation, you have all these other things that can help you fix. And I feel like my lighting is not the best still, and I don't understand why, but we'll figure it out. So then all I'm doing is I'm just really blending out that line. Basically just creating a shadow. Love, love. Okay. And I think my contour is a little bit too harsh. So what I'm gonna do, well, first I'm gonna go in with the powder because I wanna set it in place. So I'm gonna take my powder contour and get this on my brush, tap off a little bit of the excess. And then also this is gonna get rid of that shininess, like that you see that like shininess because it's a cream contour product. So now I'm just gonna go in with that powder, starting in the back, because that's where I wanna focus the color, and then blend it forward. And then we're gonna go in and clean up this too, so you're gonna see how we clean it up. Yeah, I'm really learning that the trick to makeup in general is just to play around, have fun, do what you want. Like if you think something will look cool a certain way, do it. If you don't like it, it comes off, it's makeup. I mean, I watch like Nikki tutorials and like all that stuff, and I see how much concealer and foundation she uses, and it totally makes sense. Like to get a perfect, flawless base like that, and to cover up everything, you are going to have to cake on the product. But if you're comfortable with like your own skin and like your texture or whatever, like you don't have to do your makeup that way. But starting off is really difficult because that's what you think you have to do your makeup, but that's not the case. Oh, I need a shave, I need a haircut. Okay, so looking at the contour, it is like very harsh, it's kind of big, it's blocky, it was not very precise like I wanted it to. So we're going to have to cut this, we're gonna make this line less visible that we see up top there, and really like blend it all together. So the way that I do that, I wish my lighting was not just so crappy right now, I'm so confused. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take that powdered foundation by Clinique that I used, and I'm gonna grab a like little pencil brush or whatnot, like a big fluffy pencil brush, and I'm just gonna dip into this, and I'm going to just apply this because it's also a foundation and concealer. I'm gonna pat this under my eye and like right along that line just to give us a little bit of contrast. And then I'm just applying this concealer, this foundation, under my eyes, and just really following like that triangle under your eye just to give us like a highlighting contrast and also to soften that contour line, which before you could see a lot more, but now it's kind of softened just because we've been patting that foundation over top of it. And if you are using a lot of powdered products, you are gonna want to set your face at the end or to melt all the powders together. So make sure you have a really good setting spray. My go-to is Scandinavia. I really haven't switched from them for, actually, since I started makeup. Like I tried a different other ones and then I found Scandinavia and that has been it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight this part of my face since I'm here, you know. Okay, so that's to help that line on top. And I'm gonna fix my lighting. I'm gonna go to a different area after I'm done, just so you guys can see what we're working with right now. I wanna go ahead and cut the bottom part of mine and then the sides of my nose to really bring in that contour there. All right, so I'm gonna go in with some Coty Airspun. It's a translucent powder. This one is the translucent extra coverage. And I'm just gonna use a beauty blender and I'm just gonna dip into my beauty blender like so. And then we're gonna go into snatch the nose, okay? And then also what I'll do is I'll take any excess and just pop it over there. Even though I know that's like double powder, but you only live once, okay? And then, let's cut this side. Hold on, what was that? I also wonder if there's a different way to makeup should be to handle men facial. Yeah, I didn't even see these comments. My bad, Hillary. I think the only benefit might be packaging if it's more men friendly. Yeah, I agree. Then like floral designs and like slay all day, like stuff like that, of course. If there's a different way makeup should handle men's facial hair, that's a very good point. Otherwise, I think makeup is unisex for everyone. And the powder looks really light for your skin tone. Why do you choose it? Because I'm using it as a brightening shade because I want the contrast between the dark, which is my contour shade, and then the light. Oh, are you talking about this powder or the first powder? Which one? The Clinique powder or the Coty Airspun? The one that I'm applying now? Oh, the Coty. Okay, yeah. So this is, I'm using it to brighten some areas or lighten some areas of my face. So this is a translucent powder. I'm just using a lot of it. If you use less of this powder, it will just blend into your skin. But I'm using a lot of it just because I want to take some of that color to create that contrast. And then when I set my face later with a setting spray, it's going to melt all those powders into my skin and it won't look like this. Like this is what it just looks like right now. This is all the process. So now I'm applying it back here. So now you're starting to see I'm shaping my contour, like where my cheekbones are, and I'm really just starting to define where that is. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. And then and I do at the end, Hill, I do go in with a powder that is my skin complexion and I set my entire face, like the rest of my face. So even if there is like a little bit of a white cast, that will go away. So 3 powder, oh sorry, I got a phone call, everybody. So 3 powders total. Yes, different parts of my face though. So it's just like, this is the areas I want highlight that I'm using for contrast. And that's what I was saying, like if they made contour shades, so like lighter skin or fair skin, they can use like bronzer or powder and they have different shades of that, light to medium, medium to dark, like those types of things. This is my contour palette and none of these shades are deep enough for my contour. And this is the deep, the deep palette. So it just sucks because I have to buy all of these different products. Like I have 3 powdered foundations to contour my face. 1 second, let me restart this playlist. So I'm just letting this set in, just getting that color, that shade or whatever. While that's doing that, usually I would be working on something else like my brows or eyeshadow or something while this process is going. But this is just a contour broadcast. So we're just gonna let this bake for a little bit while I clean up some of my area. And the thing that I love about makeup is that you're always learning. Like I always learn, like I will literally learn a new way to do this by watching a video. I'll try that technique, it works. Some of the parts don't work, so I will start mixing different things that I learned. So I'll do 3 steps of this person's and then finish with 4 steps of this person's, or take Jeffree Star's highlighting technique with Nima Tang, or Nima, what's her name? Nima Tang, I don't know how to say her name, but I'm sorry. Nima's contour tutorial or whatever. So it's just really about mixing and putting techniques to get the desire that you want. So like I'm gonna add a little bit more powder to the side of my nose just because she looks a little uneven. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna take my Real Techniques contour brush and I'm just going to sweep away this bake. So this is called baking. I'm gonna go to my bigger brush. Woo. And also, it's very different, like Hillary, that you brought up having facial hair. So sometimes when I use a lighter powder like this and I have my facial hair, like I haven't shaved or it's like I had a fresh shave, I do have issues sometimes with powder getting stuck in between my stubble or whatnot. So that would be very interesting if they did come out with like tutorials for how to do makeup with stubble or how to get like foundation and whatnot. But I guess they might just cut out those steps of like powder and like all that. So now, after all of that is wiped away, like it doesn't, like you don't see how light it is because it's pretty much gone. It's a translucent powder. But it did define all of those areas. Like if you look at my nose now, the part that you focus on is here, just because that's the part that's lighter. These parts are kind of muted out a bit. And then when I add highlighter, it's gonna direct your eye to where I want you to look, which is right here, which is gonna be the highs of my cheekbones. Right here, which you do a little glow above your brow, a little glow here in your nose, and then everybody's looking at the center of your face. So like that melted together really well. Like I'm happy with how the contour came out. So even if this is too dark for you, if you're not into that, like if you want it to be a little bit more lighter, then all you do is you take your lighter powdered foundation. Why am I losing everything? Okay, here we go. You take your lighter powdered foundation and you're just gonna do something called veiling. So veiling is when you take a powder. Actually, I'm gonna take my my Skin Perfecting Powder by MAC. So this is in the shade Dark Deep. So this is my actual color, Hillary. This is my color. So I'm gonna take this on a brush, and then to veil, all you do is literally just tap over your contour to just lighten it up. Until your desired and then you just veil if that's too dark. So then it just becomes a little bit more natural, not as intense or whatever. All right, now we want to highlight the face. So before we go into highlight, remember we just put all these powders on, so we need the powders to set, melt together. So I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Finishing Spray by Scandinavia. And since I'm not adding on, oh, and then before you do this part, you wanna make sure you're not adding on any more powder. So before I do that, let me just give my face one more dusting of a powder that's in my skin tone. So this is the Studio Fix Skin Perfecting Powder by MAC Cosmetics. Last powder, I'm powdery. See, and you would think that I'd be cakey after using all these powders, but I'm not. My face is not cakey at all. So I'm just gonna hit. Oh, and I almost forgot about my jawline, see? That's why that's an important step. I always ask myself before I set my face, oh, do I need to put any more powders on? Because after you set your face, that's it. So I just wanna hit my jawline real quick. So to hit my jawline, I'm gonna take the powder, the Bare Minerals foundation right here. I'm gonna put a little bit on my brush. And then all I'm gonna do, hit behind my jawline, right there, hit this part, in front, come down here. See, and we're starting to get like all of that snatchery. All right, so now that we are powdered up, we are set, we are contoured, our face is contoured, we need to highlight. But before we get there, let's set our face. Let that dry down. Okay, we used to be. All right, and then my favorite highlighter right now is the Ofra Cosmetics X Nikki Tutorials Everglow Highlighting Trio. I usually stay within the copper and the gold. I don't ever really go into this one because this is not for my skin type. This will make me look ashy, but the copper and the golds really accentuate my undertones. So I love this. And it's like they're creamy. It's like the creamiest highlighters I've ever used. They just blend into your skin. Love that. I've been shaking in my bones. Where's my? Could I ever just have everything in one spot? Where's my highlighter brush? Oh, there it is. Okay, and I'm gonna be using a BH Cosmetics highlighting brush. It's really cute, it's like a unicorn. All right, so I'm gonna dip into this gold shade on the side of the brush just because I feel like I have more control of where I apply my highlighter, and I always tap off the excess for the first application. Then, starting with the highs of the cheekbones. So, the thing about highlighter that I've learned from watching professional makeup artists like what is it? Beyonce's makeup artist, Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, Mario, Sir John, even Lady Gaga's makeup artist from watching Nikki Tutorials, Sarah Tano. So I've gotten to really into pro makeup and looking at their tips. So they say when you highlight your face, you're supposed to highlight the highs of your cheekbones, which if you actually look at your face, that's from the side. Like from the front, you don't really see the highs of your cheekbones except for back here. And that's also what's over here. So they also say where you stop your contour from the outside of your eye is where you should also stop your highlight. Your highlight should not go further than the outside of your eyeball or iris. So about right there. So that way when you're looking from the front, it doesn't blind you, like flash photography doesn't shine in your face. But when you do a quick profile, you'll see that highlight and that's what you want. So I'm gonna start at the top and I'm just going to highlight the highs of my cheekbones like so and stopping. So from the front, you can still see that highlight as it progresses back, and when you turn, then it's shiny. So now we're gonna build up the intensity of this to your liking and really blend it in. So from the front, from the side, and then see how that contrast is making that cheekbone higher and it's really snatching my face, and then from where I applied that powder is recessed so it looks like my cheeks go like this, shaping your face, contouring your face. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. too much just now. Oh my gosh, okay. But the beauty of this one is that she is blendable, so we're just going to keep working her. And then we'll have to veil over that because I applied way too much right there. Oh no, okay. If you apply too much, you can always go back over with your powdered foundation. Blush will also tone down highlight. That's why I always wait to do my blush last after my highlight. But now I'm just gonna tap a little bit of that color just to bring some of the drama. And then I'm gonna go in with that copper shade and then just drop a little bit of that on top as well. A little much contour, but I mean highlight. Some people say you can't do too much highlight. I think you can. I think like it should be a good balance. Then I'm gonna hit the tip of my nose. And now my nose looks like it's can't breathe. Okay. And then I'm just gonna hit like some areas that I like to highlight myself. So like my Cupid's bow. Give us some glow. Girl, you should wear a name tag. And then to soften out my highlight, because I don't like my highlight this bright, some people do, I'm gonna take my blush brush and I'm gonna use this Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Fine Wine. Hi Gabrielle, good boo. How you doing? How you doing today? Welcome to the broadcast. All right, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of blush. To the apples of my cheek, and I go back into my highlight. So now my highlight's a little bit muted. And I really like this color on my skin tone. I didn't think this color would work well on my skin tone, but it's more like mauve-y. It's not super pink. It's like a mauve-ish, like coral color. So it really works well with my skin tone. Hello, contour. All right. Now, I'm going to, where's my brush? I'm gonna veil a little bit over all right, and then we are going to set our face one more time. And then I'm gonna take y'all out into some like different lighting so you guys can really see. Hey love, I'm good, thank you for asking. Hope all is well with you. I love your videos, definitely have taught me something. Oh, thank you so much, Gabrielle. And no problem. Hope all is well. All is getting better for me, you know? But that's just life, you know, life has its ups and downs. But I'm glad that you are doing well, and thank you for the support. I love that. That means a lot to me. Sometimes, like, you get a little bit discouraged, but that just meant so much, that comment. All right, let's Let's see if we can. Ooh. Okay, that's no good. What is up with my ring light today? And now we are contour. So the nose is contoured, and it's like a little rough in some areas, and that just might be because I didn't blend it out too much. But this is like the general consensus of like how you would do it. If I had my hair cut, whatever, but I mean, my face is definitely looking more snatched, more chiseled. The highlights are bringing out my cheekbones, bringing you to the center of my nose, to my lip, right here where I put the highlight, and it's just overall working. Contour. I always like to do different lighting too, because like when you work in studio lights and then you go out into like natural lighting, it could be completely different. So like now we are outside. Oh, it's bright out here. But yeah, so like we're outside and we still look contoured. It doesn't look too like you see, like even outside it looks better. Like it's not like blinding. It's not too much in your face, but it's definitely contour. I'm gonna go back in the light because, oh, look at the sky. Come on, sky. But yeah, that's our contour, everybody. Now, the products that I used in this video, I am going to go onto Wheesearch.com and I'm going to tag them. Oh yeah, I'll tag them to this video since it's a live stream. It will have a link. So if they're not up there today, definitely check back tomorrow morning to see the products that I use for this. I use the Bare Minerals, Clinique, L'Oreal, Coty Airspun, Ofra Cosmetics. So I use a lot of products to get this face, and even my base. Like, look at the foundation though. I'm like really happy with the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. But yeah, so this was just a get ready with me, kind of contour with me. I'm still learning, I'm still getting better, I'm still honing my craft every day. So if you'd like to follow me, my Instagram is Jay Iziah. I do have a YouTube channel, Jay Iziah. I'm taking a little hiatus right now because a lot of things are going on. But if you want to follow my makeup looks and all that stuff, Jay Iziah on Instagram. It's also in the description below. There's also a link to book with WheeMeet sessions. So if you wanted to do like a one-to-one consultation with me to learn how to do eyeshadow or to go through these contour techniques, color theory, all that stuff, just click the link in the description and we can get it started. All right. But I want to say thank you everybody for coming out. Please don't forget to like this video, give us a thumbs up. Share the video if you want, leave some comments, like talk about what you do to contour, what you do differently, if you like the final look, any of those things. I love feedback. I love improving my skills, you know, in any way I can. So glad I could throw some dope vibes your way. Yes, dope vibes. Keep your head up and do you, boo. Hey, always, and you do the same, Gabrielle. Mwah. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and I'm out.